Can you explain what the Terrain 10 approach is that you use, just briefly?
Yeah. So the Terrain 10, I love that. You're asking some good questions. The Terrain 10 is sort of my 25 plus years of experience of seeing 10 main patterns that seem to contribute to people's getting well or staying ill. And from those, I like to give an analogy of a bucket, okay? So think of the bucket as your mitochondria, and these are our powerhouse cells of our body. We all have them. That's how we make energy, ATP. What goes into that bucket is what makes that mitochondria work or not work. And that would include things such as your epigenome, your epigenetics, so what has been handed down to you from previous generations. That doesn't mean that it's a stagnant process. It means it's a dynamic process, and you have the ability to change the expression of those genes by your diet and lifestyle. So that goes into the bucket. Other things that go into the bucket are your microbiome. This is a hot topic these days. A few years ago, everyone thought naturopaths were crazy to focus on the gut, and yet now all the hot research in all fields of medicine are there. And so what's happening in the tube, I tell my patients, you're a tube with a body wrapped around it, is very vital to how everything kind of works inside that bucket. Then from that, we also have the mental emotional. In fact, a woman just gave a very powerful presentation on emotional impact or emotional triggers of brain cancers. Very fascinating. So our thoughts are definitely embedded into how our body responds to stressors, to chemical messengers in the system. And then 7 or so other ingredients to that bucket would be things like your blood sugar, so your metabolic issues, so what fuel source you're putting into the bucket, hormonal balance, circadian rhythm and stress chemistry, blood chemistry, like blood flow, so circulation, angiogenesis, immune function, it's a biggie, toxicants, I mean it's hard, like everyone's toxic today, it's just a matter of what our burden is. And then I'm missing one, which would be emotional stress, inflammation. How could I forget that big player? So those are the types of things that go into the bucket. So I do a questionnaire in the book and in my practice that asks people to assess each of those Terrain 10 patterns and basically find out which one or which several are the most prominent that might be the priority of where to put the attention first when starting to address the terrain as a whole.